I'm super on the fence about this one. East 5 makes sense, 6-5 makes sense, 6-7 makes some sense. But I just don't believe him, so I'm going to find the call, so wish me luck. Yo, we've got a $100 tournament ticket, so I'm going to register a 109 bounty. And then we'll play Fire and Zoom, and then if we bust the tournament, we'll load up some more tables. We'll have Fire and Zoom up as well. Pool looks pretty reasonable on Fire and Zoom, so that's pretty cool. Alright, let's get to it. You definitely mix here. Versus unknown, I'm going to lean towards raise. Call is definitely fine. Sorry, check is definitely fine. And side part here, we're going to be call 4-betting to get it in. Checking back Jack 10 on the turn, and river to king for a straight. So we'll definitely be raising small, just trying to call by worse. And you turn the straight, so we got pretty lucky on the river. And we're not folding here. And find the king, queen, hold. Yeah, it's a nice little warm-up session. Nice little hand to start the session, boys. Squeezing kings here. I've got to be a little bit careful when balls deep, getting it in pre though. He was like 160 deep. I think we can still jam this with Zavtard, to be honest. I think because of his slightly larger sizing as well, we get away with it a bit more. That's Psy. King? Diamond? No, I don't want diamond. King? Psy. Yeah, I think we basically go broke most of the time anyway. I think it's super on the border of whether we get it in or not. But versus a guy that I think is pretty spewy, I think it's more okay. Yeah, we'll start with the C-bet on table 1. Pretty easy call versus check raise with the ace of hearts, if he does happen to do it, and we'll go for over on his turn. Plenty of bluffs here. King, queen, 8-7. Flush draws. And versus check raise, when we have these hearts in our hand, I'm pretty confident that he's got a lot of just jack 10s here. Be pretty impressed if he turns like 10x of hearts into a bluff, which is his natural bluff, and I have these hearts anyway, so I'm just going to fold. Going to defend here in position versus a very small check 3-bet. And flop a boat. And versus check, I'm actually going to check back just because I lock up so much of the board. I would hate to see him just fold now. And then on the turn, I'm going to raise. I think I want to build a pot. I want him to still call like ace king with a spade, so I don't want him to make it massive. And we will just jam this river, I think. Don't think he's going to call ace king with a spade anyway. He may have trapped aces and kings. Lose the queens anyway. Want a max value versus his flushes. Maybe he finds a hero with ace of spades. You never know. But all in, I think is correct. King Jack, we decided to 3-bet versus a weaker player. Could check this back with the king of hearts, but we are c-betting. Check back a little bit more with the short stack. And then again, we can definitely choose to check with the jack of spades in our hand. I think we will mix and check here with a weaker king. Up or down, high stakes, I'm up. At what limits would you start using an RNG? And it's pretty clear call once you check back. Yeah, it's a bit side, but we're going to lose that bet anyway on the turn. I would try and use an RNG as soon as possible, but only for pre-flop, just to practice your ranges so you know what they are when you do get to high stakes. Gonna choose a larger sizing in the tournament because we don't block the ace and tournament players are bad. Gonna probably bet really big on the turn because I can still get it on the river anyway. And I'm going to be jamming for 2.6k now that he hasn't really looked at my stack and can't justify folding his ace 10. Oh, fuck. Oh, I guess we're at the tournament. Getting some. Oh, I get a box now. I don't know what that means. But stars probably won't want to load that. So, right, we got aces. Way more important. Oh, we also got our chest, our black chest, and now we're playing 3 tables. What we should be playing, which is 402, and with 3 big aces. Life's good again. Jack is going to be a turn check. Not the one for me. Versus half part when we don't have spades. I think we do want to be check raising small here. He still can be blocking with like queens and kings that we get value from, but we don't want to check raise big. And then we're going to check decide the river. Probably check fold because he shouldn't really be bluffing with like spades, even though I don't want to fold. And he shouldn't be jamming with like queens either. Yeah, it's so fucking annoying. When you make like an intricate play that is really on the border and then they still fucking find the jam. This is the guy that had 6s, right? Is that true? Is this guy going to find the bluff with... If I'm ever going to hero without Jack, it should be this hand. Not having the ace of spades is really important. It's really annoying that that's a 7 because 8-9 obviously got there. That's one extra hand that he has that beats me, or a few combos of at least that he definitely will pull the turn with too much. King, queen, spades. Maybe he goes for it with queens. Nice blocking some of the ace-jack suited. I think I am going to cycle. I don't know. This is pretty close. Nice. Glad we found it. Got him. 3-bet ace king. Yeah, ace would have been. Why can't you just give me an ace to make it easy? And table 3, we flop the flush. Thing with the follows. And then we just bet big on the turn. I don't see overbet being a thing here versus 2 players. And the river, I do see overbet being a thing versus 1 player. Got it. He had ace queen with the ace of spades. Table 2, we defended and then check check flop and we led the turn in 1. And we go for the call for it here for sure. This guy snap calls. This is the guy that had the king queen and the pocket 6s, I believe. Interesting flop. Don't expect to see ace king from Zelik, so we are going to see bet small. And then the turn heart, we're going to check and probably call off. Don't think we can bluff him off a king, so I definitely think check is correct. And the river is interesting because he checks back the turn. I don't think he's going to punt jam in my face. He might have like queen jack and queen 10 we can get to call off with. You could also have king jack, but the question now is like, do we go for a block or do we go for check call? I think I like block. Got it. And we found the pocket 10s, boys. We also found the pocket 10s, so you know, I mean, I said queen 10, should have said 10-10, my bad. So table number, he min 3-bet me here, so ranges are a bit weirder. I don't think we check raise as I normally would because it's such a small min 3-betty pot, so proceed with caution. Ace 10, I really kind of want to check raise now versus small sizing, but I'm going to call and maybe lead some rivers. This one I will lead. Got it. Hit ace 4, so we got the max I think. Table 1, we bet big, and I'm debating what to do now on this river. River jack is not a fun one, but he has plenty of ace x of diamonds, right? So I'm just going to block. Then the ace x of diamonds combos, ace deuces, ace fours are all good reasons to keep betting with this hand. and not check call or check fold. Two down. Orangey call this time. Well, the worst flop. We'll try a stab. Pretty sick turn. I think we can size up, especially without the 10 of clubs. Not like go over bet, but like bet big enough that make some money. Don't think we're gonna go small twice. Maybe go small twice if we had like Jack 10, but Jack 10 probably just checks back. And river, I think I like overbet. Just really taxes like jacks that didn't check raise a flop. I don't see what else you can call with, so I think I just go polarized. So that one down. Table number 2. We called a 3-bet, donked the flop, and then we're donking turn as well. And on the river, I'm going to go with check fold. And versus pot is interesting. I guess you could have 6-7 pocket 10s. And don't see what he's going. I don't see what he's bluffing with. Maybe he can bluff me like 6-5 here. Ace-5, 6-5. 10s makes not a lot of sense because the 10 should raise the flop, but not everyone does that. It doesn't have 9-8 because I block it. We could still have it obviously, but unlikely. His sizing here is just really indicative of like value. And his only major value is like 10s to target a 7x. But his other bluffs are like ace king that he didn't want to fold. I don't think he does this with jacks, but he could be just like super leveling me here. I'm super on the fence about this one. Ace 5 makes sense, 6-5 makes sense, 6-7 makes some sense. But I just don't believe him, so I'm going to find the call, so wish me luck. God, I'm just too fucking good at this game, man. I don't know why I should even stream anymore, guys. I'm just fucking, sometimes I just fucking don't even know what I'm talking about, but the spider sense just goes off. Thank you everyone for tuning in. If I haven't said that already, much appreciated. You have a check raise here with ace king. And a turn, I don't think he has too many 6x to not overbet. And on the river, he doesn't have ace king. He might not call king queen anymore. So that will polarize and has some like 9-8s. I think I'm gonna check, but the problem is if I check, his range is gonna jam. So I think I like block. Hopefully it called by king queen. Yeah, his jam range here is like 7, 6, 7. Interesting because he didn't 3-bet the flop, which I know he does a lot against me. The side I don't have this time bank. 6-5 suited, 8-9 suited. Oh man, like if I had like more time there, I could have potentially worked that one out, but sorry that we don't. Yeah, looks like we are up. We're up money, ladies and gentlemen. We're up about $630, which was just above EV. I'll go through the biggest pots. Anyway, pot kings, we squeeze. We get one caller. Oh, sorry, he 4-bets and we jammed. Yeah, this is pretty close. Let's have a look how big it was pre-flop. How do I kill this stupid HUD? So pre, it is 860. So that's like, how many bigs is that? It's like 17, 20. Yeah, so someone was right. It's probably too big as a jam. It's probably supposed to be a call. I think 175 is probably about the right, so you can still jam king sometimes. So Definitely not jamming this all the time. I chose to jam because he's a player, and we did run into aces, so that was a bit side. We 3-bet aces, he calls. We start with a C-bet small, he calls. We check the turn, which we're going to have to do with our range, and he gets half pot. Because of checking the turn with that range, we can't just be block catching aces on the turn, especially without the ace of spades. We can have so many hands that he has to call. Like, he could be value betting like ace 10 here. Not that he's going to call ace 10, but he could be value betting king 10, queen 10. He could be bluffing with 8-9, spades, king, queen, ace, queen. So he could also be value betting to check back rivers with like queens and kings. So I'm pretty sure we have to raise. He does just call. This is really important to notice. He does just call. He definitely could still be jamming here with like 10s, 3s, some strong jack X like ace jack that doesn't want to see a bad river. So that's a factor. We check the river. He does go all in. And then I was basically trying to decide, would he overbluff this river? Like, because regs here might not go for the bluff here if it had like ace X of spades, hoping for me to have like king queen or 6-5 of spades maybe as one of my bluffs. I think it's a interesting spot, reg versus recreational here, and I decided it was a recreational, so I'd lean towards call more. Plus didn't have the ace of spades, so he might overbluff with those hands. So I call, and he had king queen. Queens. We go for the call 4-bet after button opens and small blind 3-bets. He sticks in with king queen, and we hold. Ace queen suited, we cold 4-bet, the fish calls, the red calls, we go for a small c-bet, not scared of ace king. Turn 9 of hearts, we decide to check. River, we go for block and get called by 10s, so pretty nice. And now the pocket 9s hand that you've been waiting for. We open pocket 9s, we get 3-bet by the button, we defend. We dart the flop, we have all the sets here and he has way less. Turn the 7, we go for a donk, even smaller again. Again, we have way more 7x than he does, in my opinion. He doesn't raise, he just calls. River the 10, we go for check. Hoping he checks back like ace queen, ace king. He goes for a pot bluff here on the river. And reading into his sizing, I'm a bit like, well, I could definitely start check calling with 7x now because I'm scared of 10s, which is definitely something that should be in his range. At least some of the time. He's supposed to be raising the flop with 10s, but you never know. Turn. He didn't raise me either. I expected to raise a bunch of 7x on the turns and maybe even his pocket 6s and pocket 4s. And then it's like, what bluffs does he have? And what does he do with his like marginal value? So his marginal value here is like jacks through to aces. I think most of these hands are going to raise a flop. Maybe aces doesn't. But then it's like, does it pot the river? And honestly, it seems a little bit thin, especially if I think that I can be checking a 7 on the river. So 10 seems like the most... 10 seems like the most likely value hand to target by 7x, but then I was a bit like, well, that's still going to be raising the flop at least some of the time. And just my read on this reg is that he's very sticky, so the fact that he showed up with the hand he shows up with, which I'll show you in a second if you haven't seen it, kind of proves my point. So all things considered, I think 9-8 is another candidate for his pots versus my 7s, if I didn't mention that. And blocking that obviously really helps. So 9s and 8s are basically the same hand here. And yeah, honestly, if it got 80%, I was more likely to fold. Just his pot really sets some alarm bells off, and we call, and he lays queen off. So that's the end of the session. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for following along, and all the best.